Hey everybody, this is Randy Brown for Cammyman 2021 and the Mayor of Magic. I'm here with how to end and how to begin your stories. So let's jump into it, shall we? My name's Randy Brown. I've written 75 screenplays. The bulk of them I cannot show to you because I promised the people who own the screenplays that I would not show them to anybody. If you go to my website, and I'll link it in the description, you can see many scripts that I have written, some all by myself, some with my friend Benny. The major problem that people have is that they get blocked in screenplays and in stories. But here is the main thing that you need to realize is, like, once you know your ending and once you know your beginning, then filling in those blanks is a matter of just filling in A to Z. So once you know your ending and once you know your beginning, the writing process is really a snap. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you 3 ways how to end your story and the 1 way how to begin your story. There are 3 ways that you can figure out the ending to your story. You can either figure out your main character's goal, you can figure out the theme, or you could figure out the mood of your ending. So let's cover those in order. Number 1, the goal of the movie. Whatever the main character's goal is, the ending simply becomes, does he get it or not? And I'm using he as like a catch-all term here. You could have a female protagonist or a male protagonist or whatever gender you like. But all you got to do is figure out the main character's goal, and then the end of the movie is, does he get it or not? Next up is theme. And theme basically goes like this. Your theme will dictate whatever your story's ending is. So, for example, if your theme is crime doesn't pay, well, then your characters have to commit a crime, and then they have to get captured or killed, because that is the theme of crime doesn't pay. A movie's ending proves its theme. Maybe you have a story that says, sometimes crime does pay. Well, then you got to have your character commit a crime, and then he's got to get away with it. Or let's say that your ending is love overcomes all obstacles. Well, then you've got to have 2 people in love, and those 2 people have to overcome all obstacles. And then the last, 3rd thing you can do to find your ending is discover whether you want a happy, sad, or bittersweet ending. And it basically works like this. If you want a happy ending, the main character gets what they want. Unless it's something bad, then it would be the reverse. But in a happy ending, the main character gets what they want. In a sad ending, they don't get what they want. And in a bittersweet ending, the hero doesn't get what he wants, but he learns a vital lesson. So those are the 3 ways to end your story. The last one, the hero doesn't get what he wants or learns a vital lesson. That's typically your romance stories where, the lead nerd character is lusting after the hot cheerleader, and he gets to know her, and she turns out she's a terrible person. And then the nerdy girl who has been supporting him all the way, then he learns, oh, well, I didn't want the cheerleader. I really want this nerdy girl next door type. So those are the 3 ways that you can end your story. I'm going to tackle beginnings now. And key to tackling beginnings of your story basically goes like this. Your beginning is what your genre is. So you need to know your genre. And you can't be wishy-washy. You can't have 3 genres. You can't have 4 genres. Usually a good story boils down to 1 or 2 genres. If you're writing a horror film, well, then you've got to start off with a murderer or a monster eating somebody or a monster being created. If you're writing an action movie, you need to start off with an explosion or a gunfight or a fist fight or like a kung fu battle. If you're writing a sword and sorcery pick, you need knights and dragons and knights fighting each other with swords and axes. And if you're writing a romance, you need to have your main character meet the person they are going to fall in love with, or they need to start with a breakup so they get into the mood where they want to find somebody new. So no matter what your story is, your genre will dictate the beginning of your story. I can think of 3 great examples: Star Wars A New Hope, Lord of the Rings, the first one, and The Matrix. Now, the funny thing about all 3 of these stories is all 3 of these stories do not have the main character in the opening scenes of the movie. Like A New Hope, Luke isn't in the opening scenes of that movie. Matrix, Neo's nowhere to be found in the opening of that movie. Lord of the Rings, Bilbo Baggins is not in the opening of that movie, so there you go. Let's take Star Wars, for example. It's a sci-fi epic, so what do we start off with? Guns, lasers, starships, droids, all science fiction tropes in the genre of fantasy and sci-fi. The Matrix. The Matrix is a sci-fi kung fu epic. What do we start off with? We start off inside the Matrix, we go into a computer screen, and then we start with Trinity fighting Agent Smith in a big chase scene. Again, it's an action sci-fi movie, so they're fighting it out, and there's a big chase scene on the rooftops. And Lord of the Rings, the movie actually starts like this. It doesn't start in the Shire. It starts off with a big recap, and that big recap shows the elves and the dwarves and the men fighting Sauron in a big, huge, epic battle. It doesn't start in the Shire. It starts with the battle. So now you know how to end your story, and now you know how to begin your story. Basically, if you know your ending and you know your beginning, figuring out your story just becomes a matter of going A to Z. So there you go. My name is Randy Brown for Cameo Man 2021 and the Mayor of Magic, and I will see you later, alligator. Alright, bye.